G'day guys, DillyDog here. I'd like to welcome you all back to the channel. So guys, this video is part 2 of the video that came out a few days ago about me ranking every legendary skin for every legend and then choosing every legend's rarest skin. So before we get into that guys, I would like to remind you guys to click subscribe down below and also turn on the notification bell while you're there so you guys are notified on the channel's upcoming videos. Anyway guys, let's get into this video. So this video we'll be taking a look at every legendary skin for Bangalore, Wraith, Pathfinder, Lifeline, Gibraltar and Bloodhound. So let's start with Bangalore. So Bangalore, like Mirage, has also been given some horrific skins. However, there are also some decent skins that she does have that do stand out against those. So let's go through Bangalore's skins. So the worst skin for Bangalore, in my opinion, is called Sky Marshal, which came in the Season 5 Battle Pass. The next skin that I have on this list is called Stay Frosty, which came in the Christmas event. The first recolor is called Killer Bee, which requires the Apex Overdrive. The next skin is called the Enforcer. The skin after that we have is called Cherry Bomb, which requires the Enforcer. The skin after that we have is the Viceroy. Next one is called Officer Williams. After that we have Apex Overdrive. After this one we have another recolor called Mint Condition, which requires the Enforcer. In the top 5 now we have what's called Killing Machine, which came with the System Override Collection event. In 4th we have Outland Warrior, which came with the Season 1 Battle Pass. In 3rd we have the Spacewalker. 2nd we have Full Metal Jacket, which requires the Spacewalker. And top of the list, my personal favourite skin for Bangalore is called CATRINA, which came with the Halloween event. So now let's talk about this skin for Bangalore. So firstly, it's just awesome in my opinion. I think it's supposed to be inspired by something to do with the Day of the Dead. I'm unsure exactly, but I think it looks really cool to be honest. The bright oranges, bright colours in general, are really good to looking at, and the skull on her face makes this skin one of the best for Bangalore. Now if I had to choose the rarest skin for Bangalore, I'd probably have to go with the Killer Bee skin. And to be perfectly honest, I can see why. Now I know it's only a recolor, so they weren't going to change anything about this skin other than the colour of it. But the only thing they did change was colour, which was to change the red part of the skin to yellow. A very poor exclusive skin, to be honest, and I think this is probably the worst recolor for any skin for any legend. So now let's get to the next legend we'll be taking a look at, which is Wraith. So Wraith has always been probably the most popular legend in Apex ever since launch. Her abilities have always been great for solo play and also team play, which in turn has made her the best legend in Apex Legends. So her skins in Apex have produced some not so good skins, but also some absolute bangers. So now it's time to take a look at Wraith's skins. So in my opinion, the worst skin for Wraith is the Marble Goddess, which came with the Lost Treasures Collection event. The next one we have is Mistress of Evil, which came with the Halloween event, obviously inspired by a witch. The one after that, the first recolor, is called Flashpoint, which requires the Vengeance Seeker. After that, we've got Voices from the Past, which is a recolor for the Night Terror. Next skin we have is called Quarantine 722. After that we have Depths of the Void, which requires Quarantine 722. After that we have what's called Void Specialist. Then we have Vengeance Seeker. We have what's called the Liberator. Then we have Final Sunset, which requires the Liberator. Into the top 5 now we have Airship Assassin, which requires the Void Specialist. In 4th we have Protector of the Void, which came with the Iron Crown event. In 3rd we have the VOIDWALKER, which came with the VOIDWALKER event. In 2nd we have Perfect Soldier, which came in the Season 4 Battle Pass. And the top skin for Wraith, my personal favourite for her, is called the Night Terror, which came with the Season 1 Battle Pass. So to be honest, again, I love this skin. Not only does it have a look that looks awesome, but also how rare this skin is. So the backstory of this skin is also quite interesting. So when the Season 1 Battle Pass first released, there was a lot of backlash due to the lack of quality content, with there being no legendary skins for legends and only 2 legendary skins for guns, both being the Havoc, which was the new weapon in Season 1, and a cost of the Battle Pass, which was a bit of money. There was no skins for any legends, so Respawn, to their credit, made up for their blunders, giving people who completed a certain part of the Battle Pass 2 skins, one for Bangalore, which we showed earlier, and one for Wraith, obviously being the Night Terror skin. And because this skin was so popular when it was released, they sold a recolor of it, which was called Voices from the Past, which is alright, but not as good as the original. So now on to what I believe is the rarest skin for Wraith. Now Wraith has a bunch of rare skins, between skins like the Airship Assassin, the Voidwalker, or the Night Terror skin that I mentioned earlier, but I actually think the Protector of the Void skin is her rarest skin. Now this is because I haven't seen it in game very often, however I have seen the Voidwalker and the other skins a few more times. Again, a lot like the other Iron Crown event skins, this skin probably receives some backlash as well. However, this isn't to say I haven't seen it in game, because Wraith is used quite a lot. It's pretty hard to not see a Wraith skin, so I do think this is the rarest one for Wraith in my opinion, because the majority of the time, people tend to use the Voidwalker skin, I think maybe because it looks, and if that is the reason, I tend to agree. The Protector of the Void skin is still very good. So now let's get to the next legend, which is Pathfinder. Now again, Pathfinder is obviously a very popular legend, and in turn means that he's been given some awesome skins. Now like Caustic, it was very difficult to narrow down these skins for most liked to least liked to my personal favourite, because most of Pathfinder's skins are absolutely amazing. But I gave it my best efforts and I think I've done pretty well. So let's have a look through Pathfinder's skins. So as always, we'll start with the worst skin in my opinion. So obviously I think Pathfinder's worst skin is the Plastic Fantastic from the System Override Collection event. Next we have Joyfinder, which came in the Christmas event, obviously again inspired by Santa Claus. Next we have our first recolor called WAVERACER, which requires the Angel City Pacer. After that we have Pole Position, which again requires the Angel City Pacer. After that we have Iced Out, which came with the Season 3 Battle Pass. After that we have Quicksilver. Then we have Bot of Gold, which requires Quicksilver. After that we have Model P. Then we have the Aviator. After that we have the Angel City Pacer. In fourth we have First Blood, which came with the Pathfinder bundle. Top 3 now we have the Green Machine, which requires the Aviator. Second we have the War Machine, which came with the Iron Crown event. And lastly, number 1, my personal favourite skin for Pathfinder, which is called Servan Mervin, which came with the Grand Soiree. So like I said a little bit earlier, yes it was hard to rank this list from 14th to 2nd. However, number 1 spot stayed the same the whole time, with Pathfinder's skin from the Grand Soiree is by far my favourite skin for our smiling robot, and some might say looking handsome with a bit of hair on the upper lip, but in all seriousness, this is by far the best skin for Pathfinder. The bronze and gold really make this skin almost sort of rustic in a way, and the name is awesome. I mean, I don't really care much about the name to be honest, but come on, Servan Mervin, that's awesome. And lastly, the moustache, like I mentioned, that's not only hilarious, but looks very classy. Now not only does Pathfinder have some great legendary skins, but he also has some very rare ones as well. The 2 in particular really stand out, both of them being the War Machine and the Green Machine. But if I had to choose between the 2, I'd have to go with the Green Machine, because it is just so rare. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen it in game. However, I have seen it being used by a couple of pro players and content creators such as Zilbrad. But other than that, this skin is super rare. On a personal level, I think it looks really cool as well. So the next legend we'll be taking a look at is Lifeline. So like a few other legends, Lifeline has been given the shaft when it comes to skins, to be honest. And I'd almost go as far to say that Lifeline has actually got the worst skins in Apex Legends. However, there are a few outliers, so let's take a look at all of Lifeline skins. We'll start with the worst skin for Lifeline in my opinion, which is Lifeline BLING, which requires Peak Performer. Next we have Rejuvination, which requires London Calling. The next skin we have is London Calling. After that we have Organized Anarchy. Then we have Peak Performer. After that we have Balance Shift, which requires Vital Signs. After that we have Vital Signs. Then we have First Responder, which requires the Organized Anarchy. Fourth we have From the Ashes, which came with the Season 3 Battle Pass. In third we have Guardian Angel, which came with the Lifeline bundle. In second we have Pirate Queen, which came with the Lost Treasures Collection event. And number one, my personal favourite skin for Lifeline would be Judge Duty Executioner, which came with the Iron Crown event. So to be perfectly honest, this really wasn't a tough decision. Not only were there not many other skins competing for top spot, but this skin actually is really unique for Lifeline. I don't know if it's just me, but other than the top 4 that I mentioned for skins, Lifeline's other legendary skins look very similar and don't look that much different to a default skin. I mean, not very much anyway. But anyway, back to this Judge Judy Executioner skin. I really like the dreadlocks on this skin and her white mask that makes it look really mysterious. And plus I do like the gold and black colouring for this skin as well. So now on to Lifeline's rarest skin. Now to be honest, it's kind of hard to tell for a lot of the time to see this in game because Lifeline's skin, like I mentioned earlier, do look very similar. However, I have given a stab at it, and I'd like to think that the First Responder skin is actually her rarest one. Now to take this with a grain of salt, but I actually have heard some whispers and stuff on Twitter, this skin could be coming back to the store very soon, considering they've been bringing back recolors recently for the exclusives. So I don't know if I've actually seen this in game very often, but if you guys have seen it, let me know down below. I'm actually quite curious to find out if anyone does have this skin. So on to the next legend, and we'll be looking at Gibraltar's legendary skins. Now for some reason, the thick boys in Gibby and Caustic get some nice threads, eh? Now in Gibraltar's case, his skins are actually very good in my opinion. Now because he wasn't such a good legend at the start of Apex Legends' lifespan, till probably about the start of Season 3, his skins are also very rare. Quite a few of them anyway. Because a lot of people didn't really spend the money on cosmetics for him because no one would actually use Gibraltar. So anyway, let's take a look at Gibraltar's legendary skins. So we'll start with what I believe is the worst skin for Gibraltar. So in my opinion, the worst skin for Gibraltar is called Darkside. After that we have Soft Power, which requires the Millennium Tusk. After that we have Brother Bear, which came in the Christmas event, inspired by a polar bear. Next we have Ride or Die. After that we have Millennium Tusk. Next we have Shell Shocked, which requires Ride or Die. Next we have Redwood Raider, which requires Darkside. Then we have Imperial Defender, which came with the Lost Treasures Collection event. Into the top 5 now, we have Code Red, which requires Bunker Buster. In fourth, we have Bunker Buster. Third, we have Gibraltar, which came with the System Override Collection event. In second, we have Call to Arms, which came with the Iron Crown event. And in top spot, my personal favourite skin for Gibraltar is called Monster Mashed, which came with the Halloween event, inspired by Frankenstein's monster. So I really like this skin, mainly because it's inspired by Frankenstein's monster, to be honest. So obviously this skin was within the Halloween event, like I mentioned earlier, and my god, this is by far my favourite skin for Gibraltar. I really like the light grey, matched with the bright yellows and greens through this skin. And the yellow danger sign on his arms shield really makes his skin look really good. So if I had to choose Gibraltar's rarest skin, I'd have to say it's probably in between Code Red and Redwood Raider. To be perfectly honest, I don't think I've ever actually seen these skins in game before. So both these skins are recolors, and I must say, these skins actually look really good. I'll definitely get a hold of these skins if I use Gibraltar and they came back to the store. So guys, now we're up to the final legend, which is Bloodhound. So Bloodhound has in the past received some really cool skins in events, and Bloodhound has also probably the best starting 4 legendary skins for any legend in Apex. However, in recent history, Bloodhound hasn't received many legendary skins at all. In fact, other than the Old Ways event, Bloodhound hasn't received a legendary skin since the Halloween event back in October last year. So in turn, that does mean Bloodhound does have some very rare skins. So let's take a look at Bloodhound's legendary skins. So we'll start with what I believe is the worst skin for Bloodhound, which I believe is called Wise Warrior, which came with the Old Ways event. Next we have Radiant Stalker, which requires the Royal Guard. After that we have Wandering Warrior, which requires again the Royal Guard. Next we have the Royal Guard. After that we have Imperial Warrior. Then we have Protector of the Patch, which came with the Halloween event. After that we have the Intimidator, which came with the Bloodhound bundle. The next skin we have here is Great Winter, which requires Imperial Warrior. Into the top 5 now, we have Youngblood, which came with the Old Ways event. In 4th we have the Centurion, which came with the Iron Crown event. In 3rd we have the Plague Doctor. In 2nd we have the RUNEKEEPER. In top spot, my favourite skin for Bloodhound is called Raven's Shadow, which requires the Plague Doctor. So out of any of these skins I've talked about in this video, this would definitely have to be in my top 3 skins for any legend. So this skin was a recolor for the Plague Doctor, and my god, this is an upgrade in my opinion. To be fair, I do actually really like the original. However, this recolor is awesome. The light orange added to this skin really gives this skin another dimension. I know it's only a skin, but I really do like the Raven's Shadow. And this brings me to my rarest skin for Bloodhound. Now I have to be honest, I know a lot of people would say the Great Winter skin is the rarest skin for Bloodhound because it's actually one of the first ever recolors that came to the shop and has never returned to the shop. So to be fair, I agree to some extent. However, I don't think it is the Great Winter skin. I've only seen it a few times, and I know that Candy Roo, a content creator, does use this skin for Bloodhound. However, I've never seen the Raven's Shadow skin in game before. In fact, when I was doing research for this video, when I was looking at the skins, I was actually shocked because like I said, I've never seen this skin in game before, and I don't actually think I've ever seen a content creator own this skin. So please, if you know anyone who owns this skin, please leave a comment down below and let me know, because I think it may actually be the rarest skin in Apex Legends. So guys, before we end this video, let's go over what I think is every legend's rarest legendary skin. So obviously we'll skip Loba and start with Revenant. So in my opinion, the rarest skin for Revenant is Shadow on the Sun. For Crypto, Totemic Might. For Watson, the Warrior Empress. For Octane, the Laughing Fool. For Caustic, the Trophy Hunter. For Mirage, Center Stage. For Bangalore, Killer Bee. For Wraith, Protector of the Void. Pathfinder, Green Machine. Lifeline, First Responder. Gibraltar, Code Red and Redwood Raider. And for Bloodhound, Raven's Shadow. So guys, I think that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed these past 2 videos. If you did, make sure to give this video a like and also subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on so you guys are notified on the channel's upcoming videos. But anyway guys, Dilly Dog will catch us all later.